Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to welcome Yana, CEO and co-founder at Yai. Yana, welcome to the show.
Hi, Ben.
Hey,
Very
great
good to
to,
be.
yeah, great to have you here. Looking forward to this. So let's kick this off. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Sure. I come from marketing background, so I've been in marketing and comms for most of my career, about 15 years. And I've been in tech and innovation for the past several years, starting from working in my corporate job for a company in the digital space, producing products and productized solutions. I was responsible for the commercial part. And after that, I have founded my own digital marketing company, run that for 7 years, scaled it, and exited it last year. So in that company, I was focused on helping tech startups, a lot of them in B2B SaaS, but also across ed tech and fintech. I was helping them to find the product market fit and establish the go-to-market strategy, scale up, in some cases, also exit their businesses.
Oh, that's great. And then so scaled that for 7 years and then exited. And then was it in that journey of leading your digital marketing company that you came up with your current endeavor, current software project?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. It happened because when AI came out and we started using it to make ourselves more productive, more efficient, we quickly realized with my colleagues in the agency that AI tools are great, but they lack a certain number of capabilities that are specific to marketing. And this is how the idea of my new business, YAI or YAI, was
Mhm.
born.
All right, well, let's talk about YAI or why AI. So tell us what products and or services Y offers or YAI.
Yeah, sure. In a nutshell, it's very simple. We fix the quality of AI generated marketing content. So, as you know, there is a lot of content being produced with AI right now. It's great for productivity. However, as we noticed back in the day with my agency, the quality of AI generated content is so far from the moment in time when a marketer is happy to publish it. And this is where AI comes in effectively. It's the only tool out there that evaluates and enhances the quality of AI generated text, also images and videos. And in a nutshell, it's a smart scoring system, a little bit like Grammarly, but working specifically for marketing content and enhancing the quality of AI content with marketing metrics in mind. Things like brand tone of voice, fact checking and referencing, humanization, depth, and clarity. These are some examples of the metrics that we are focusing on.
Okay, so this helps. So say a marketer is creating content with AI and now taking it to that next step rather than just publishing it, can we make this better? And I know all the talk with SEO and Google about penalizing AI content, which who knows? I'm not an SEO expert, but is it helping also with like the SEO side or SEO and improving the content from that AI version?
Sure, there is a lot to unpack here. So, first and foremost, you can and use AI in different stages of your content creation journey. You can come with your already generated AI content and run it through our system, which is called Content Lift, that analyzes, scores, and enhances this content and get it ready for publishing. Or instead, you can start creating in AI, and this will be all applicable to the content that you produce. So, Content Lift is a part of the system that we have already built. And secondly, on the SEO point, yes, SEO is one of the metrics that we score and enhance the content on. However, what is also quite important to mention here is that the search is changing and the way marketers now need to optimize for search is changing with it. As you may know, Apple has recently announced that they will be allowing Perplexity AI as part of the setup for iPhones, which means that traditional search engines like Google see their shares being affected by it because they're effectively losing the market share in the search environment. So what it means for marketers is that now they need to optimize the content not just for Google and SEO, but also for what is called AI search or LLMs enabled search with tools like Perplexity, Gemini, and ChatGPT. It's a slightly different framework, and the content needs are slightly different. So what we're doing with AI, we are making sure that we not only cater to SEO needs, but also to LLM search, which is the way forward.
Okay, okay, appreciate that. I know that's a complex world and changing a lot. So you can bring your content to AI or create content within your application. And then so who's your ICP? Who's your ideal customer?
Yeah, great question. So, given my background and also one of my founders' background as well, marketers is the general ICP for us. So, marketers could be working for companies as CMOs or heads of content, etc. They can also work in agencies, and this is the world that I understand and know best. And in this use case, we have to take into account the fact that they will be producing content for multiple brands, not just for one brand. And this is another major USP that AI has, is that it can cater to the needs of multiple brands all at the same time from the same setup, the same infrastructure. And as well as marketers working for e-commerce brands or retail or FMCG, where we also see a lot of multi-brand usage. So generally speaking, if you think about a company like Procter& and Gamble, for example, that has hundreds of brands on the books, this is where AI can come in handy as well, because you can produce and enhance the content for all of those brands at the same time from the same instance.
Okay, so it sounds like company size wise, so you're targeting marketers for in-house or agencies, and then it sounds like this can scale from just a small agency up to large global brands then.
Correct. Yes, we're effectively starting from perhaps smaller agencies and smaller e-commerce slash retail brands and building out our enterprise solution gradually.
Okay, all right, makes sense. And let's talk some stats and figures. So what year did you found Yai?
Sure, we founded CI in the end of 2023, and we launched our beta in the beginning of this current year, 2025.
Okay, okay. And then do you have a headquarters location?
Yeah, sure. We're located in London, United Kingdom.
Okay. And what's your current team size?
So our current team size, if we go by FTEs, is 5 people. That includes 3 co-founders, myself, and 2 more, our CTO and our COO. And we also have another 3 part-time members of staff helping us out in some areas of development, as well as data science and UX.
Okay. And so team size of five. And then pricing, like a lot of different ways to go with
Hmm.
pricing. So generally, is this a subscription-based product, usage-based, a little bit of both?
Yeah, I guess the best way to describe it is a little bit of both. And
Mhm.
the reason it is as such is because we have a tier-based subscription model. And at the moment we are working on the first tier because it's linked to our product roadmap. And we also offer a possibility to buy credits if a user wants to utilize more of a specific feature while being in this on the same tier of subscription.
Okay, makes sense. So tiered subscriptions, and if they go over need more, they can buy credits. So a bit of that mix
Right.
of subscription and usage. And then anything you want to share around revenue ranges or AR ranges right now?
Yeah, sure. That's absolutely fine. So we are in the early stages of our monetization journey. As I mentioned, we launched the open beta just in February this year. So our ARR is still below £100,000, but we are tracking well towards our first major revenue milestones post beta.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So some revenue traction. And then tell us a little bit about your go-to-market motion. So how are you finding marketers in-house or at these agencies to show them your product?
Sure. So we have 2 major tracks in our go-to-market strategy. So the first one is along the content marketing and product-led growth. And this is very much led by the founding team. And we are attracting early adopters directly to our website through content marketing and similar tools. We have a separate second track as well, which is effectively more targeted, and it's focused on building relationships and partnerships with marketing agencies, accelerators that work for startups, with startups, and also startup communities.
Okay. All right. So you've got, it makes sense, that you're improving content. So that inbound motion, so content marketing PLG, and then building those relationships with agencies that may sell into those communities. So let's switch over to the fundraising side. How much capital have you raised to date?
Sure. So to date, we raised, if I talk about dollars, it will be about $350,000, which is just under £300,000, the
Okay.
currency we operate in. We had a small angel and friends and family round in early 2024. And after that, we opened up our pre-seed. So we're still in our pre-seed round right now. We raised over half of that round already. And that was done through a combination of angel as well as early stage funds here in the UK and also in other countries. So we have an angel investor in Canada, for example. So this is what we have raised so far. And as I mentioned, we are still on a journey to close this £500,000 round that we are currently in.
Okay. So 350K USD raised to date, looking to raise a little bit more. And then going into this and founding Yai, did you know that you were going to raise, or were you thinking, hey, we'll bootstrap and then raise, or just kind of see what happens?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when we just started working on AI, we still had the agency and, running a mature business together with running a baby business startup like AI and fundraising was all quite overwhelming all at the same time. And we were also selling the agency. So it was like 3 or 4 jobs wrapped together. So in the beginning, we were bootstrapping with some of the revenue that we were getting from the agency and also investing ourselves as founding team. And we've done it up until the moment it was possible, and until the moment we sold the business, and that's when we already knew the amounts that we have to raise in order to scale as fast as we wanted to scale. And with AI, as you probably know, the first mover advantage and the speed to market are super important. So we wanted to accelerate that development, that speed of development, and therefore made our financial model, realize how much money we need to raise for this first round, and started the fundraise with the pre-seed at the pre-seed stage. So that's what was happening last year. And this year, we're effectively working more on the products, on the commercial traction, as well as closing our round.
Okay. In with the raise, or the kind of raising over time here, any lessons learned that you'd like to share? And was there anything specific? Of course, there are a lot of AI apps out there, and so was it harder bringing something AI forward, to investors? Or tell us
Mhm.
a little bit about how that went, and any surprises or lessons learned in that process.
Yeah, I guess it was a bit of a roller coaster journey, if I'm honest. So one of the biggest learnings for me, and I haven't raised capital before, so it was a first time raising, and I realized that for somebody like myself who didn't have the network of investors ready on the bench to be engaged, it was super important to start the conversations early, because it does take time to just get into these people's orbit, get yourself on the radar. And a lot of investors are not in a hurry to invest. I think that's another major learning. So in many cases, it's just the timing that is off for them personally or for them institutionally. If it's an early stage fund, they may or may not be the stage when they're actively investing. So it's always good to know and good to ask them whether they are actively investing. If not, it's good to build a relationship for the future, and then you would come back to them when the moment is right. and perhaps also removing the ego from the equation and not taking no too personally, or I don't know, having a thicker skin, I suppose. Either way works, because most of the time they're not rejecting you as an individual or even your idea. It just could be such a huge amount about the reasons that they may or may not tell you about, that it does make sense to take it to heart. It makes sense to learn from it and move forward.
Yeah, appreciate that. A lot of insight there. So taking time to get on the radar, investors may not be in a hurry. And I think I've interviewed maybe around 250 founders so far, and that
Mm.
may be the first time that someone mentioned, are they actively investing, which would be good to know. So that's great insight.
I definitely recommend just being frank and asking that question in the first conversation, because that can save you a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah, that can save a lot of time. Well, appreciate that insight. Very, valuable lessons for those who are looking to raise for the first time. And then, Yana, at this stage of your business, do you have a favorite number or metric that you're using to guide the business?
Yes, at the moment, I think the most important, or one of the most important metrics for us, is the activation rate. So we drive a lot of traffic to our website, using inbound or outbound, and we do have a lot of users starting to use the product. So because it's so easy to get started, all you need is literally a Google single sign-on to start the account. The most important part for us is to see whether or not this user has actually started creating content. Because once they started creating or evaluating content with AI, we can see how much value we are bringing them, and we can get useful feedback from these users. Unless they started this journey, we can't see much. We don't understand much about, the reasons why they might drop off or anything like that. So I guess for us, yes, it's this activation. The activation starts when they start creating either text or images or videos or all of the above.
Okay, well, that's great. So kind of product usage, so activation rate, because right with a single sign-on, so easy to create an account now, but now we got to push them in and actually get them going. So appreciate that. Yana, appreciate the time today and sharing your journey. Tell us what's coming up next for Yai.
Well, we're always so busy, and I guess it's important to be busy with the right kind of things when you're running a startup, because I don't think time has ever felt so precious to me in any other business that I've been working in or founded before. So right now, I think we are focused as a team on delivering more value to our early users, early adopters, and building partnerships with the potential super users, as we call them. So, as I mentioned before, accelerators or marketing agencies. And we're also super excited about the rapid development of AI and the way we can integrate some of these solutions into the product to make this promptless experience that we're building even more valuable to the users, so that instead of using dozens of tools that are scattered around and maybe require different subscriptions, they can come and use one simple product without prompting, without needing to know how AI actually works. It just creates valuable content for their marketing, for their companies, for the agencies, for the clients, etc. So these are perhaps three or four more priorities that we have on our list right now.
Yeah, I'm sure tons of priorities, always a ton of stuff to do in early stage startups. So, Yana, I appreciate your time today, sharing your journey. If listeners would like to learn more about Yai, where should we send them online?
Sure. Our web address is simple. It's www.yai.digital. And if you'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn, I'll be happy to do so. Just search for my name and surname, which is Yana Lapitskaya, and you will
Uh,
find me.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, if you'd like to learn more, improve your content, create content, check out Yai, YAI.digital, and find Yana on LinkedIn. So again, Yana, really appreciate your time today and sharing your journey.
Awesome to chat to you, Van. Thanks a lot for your time as well.